Alright, let's talk about Pepsi. Yes, that sugary, caffeinated nectar that's been fueling our late-night cravings and Super Bowl parties for over a century. But before it became the global beverage behemoth it is today, Pepsi started life in a rather unexpected place, a small-town pharmacy. It all began in 1893 in New Bern, North Carolina. Caleb Bradham, a pharmacist with a penchant for mixing up flavorful concoctions, created a drink he called Brad's Drink. This wasn't your average cough syrup though, it was a refreshing blend of cola nut extract, vanilla and sugar that quickly gained a loyal following among locals. Word of Bradham's delicious elixir spread like wildfire, or at least like a caffeine buzz. Realizing he had a hit on his hands, Bradham decided to rebrand his creation in 1898, renaming it Pepsi Cola. The name he claimed came from the word dyspepsia, a fancy term for indigestion. Apparently he believed his fizzy drink aided in digestion. Whether it did or not is debatable. But what's undeniable is that Pepsi's journey from a pharmacy counter to a global icon was about to begin. Okay, so what was in this Pepsi Cola that had everyone so darn excited? Well, like any good magician, or pharmacist in this case, Caleb Bradham kept his recipe a closely guarded secret. What we do know is that it contained the usual suspects found in most colas: cola nut extract, sugar, caramel color, caffeine, phosphoric acid, and some secret natural flavors. Now, the early 1900s weren't exactly known for their sophisticated marketing campaigns, but Bradham was a man ahead of his time. He slapped the Pepsi Cola logo on everything from calendars to serving trays, making sure people couldn't escape the allure of his bubbly beverage, and it worked. Pepsi's popularity soared, and the company grew rapidly. By 1910, Pepsi Cola was being bottled and distributed across 24 states. Talk about a sweet success story. But hold on, folks. This wouldn't be a true rags to riches, or in this case, pharmacy to global dominance story without a few bumps in the road now, would it? And boy, did Pepsi hit some serious potholes in the early 20th century. First came World War I. Sugar rationing hit Pepsi hard, forcing the company into some questionable financial decisions. Bradham, bless his heart, tried to play the sugar market, hoping to buy low and sell high. But as anyone who's dabbled in the stock market knows, sometimes you win, and sometimes you end up with a lot less sugar and a whole lot of debt. Pepsi went bankrupt in 1923. Yes, bankrupt. The company that once couldn't keep its shelves stocked was suddenly struggling to stay afloat. It was a tough time for Pepsi, but like a bubbly phoenix, it would rise again. Now, no story about Pepsi would be complete without mentioning its arch nemesis, its cola-flavored counterpart, its frenemy, Coca-Cola. These two beverage behemoths have been locked in a sugary struggle for world domination for decades, and let's just say, things have gotten a little fizzy. It all started in the 1930s when Pepsi, still reeling from its brush with bankruptcy, rolled up its sleeves and decided to take on the reigning cola champion. Their weapon of choice? A daring marketing campaign centered around the now iconic Pepsi Challenge. The premise was simple yet brilliant. Blind taste tests were conducted in public with people asked to choose between Pepsi and Coke. To everyone's surprise, especially Coke's, we're guessing, Pepsi consistently came out on top. This audacious move sent shockwaves through the beverage industry and cemented Pepsi's status as a serious contender to Coca-Cola's throne. The Cola Wars had officially begun. Beyond the Cola Wars, diversification and the expansion of the PepsiCo empire. But Pepsi, clever little devil that it is, realized that it couldn't just rely on its flagship cola to conquer the world. People need more than just sugary brown fizzy water to survive, right? So Pepsi embarked on a strategic mission of diversification, expanding its portfolio beyond its signature drink. In 1965, Pepsi merged with Frito-Lay, a match made in snack heaven. This union created PepsiCo, a global powerhouse that now boasts a staggering array of brands, including not just Pepsi and Frito-Lay products, but also Quaker Oats, Gatorade, Tropicana, and more. Talk about covering all your bases. This savvy business move allowed PepsiCo to tap into different markets and cater to a wider range of consumer tastes. It was a brilliant strategy that helped solidify PepsiCo's position as one of the world's leading food and beverage companies. Pepsi's secret sauce, marketing magic and pop culture domination. Now let's talk about Pepsi's secret weapon, its marketing prowess. From the very beginning, Pepsi has had a knack for capturing the zeitgeist and connecting with consumers on a cultural level. Remember those catchy jingles and celebrity endorsements? From Michael Jackson moonwalking with a Pepsi in hand to Britney Spears belting out, "Pepsi for the new generation," Pepsi has consistently aligned itself with pop culture icons and trends, embedding itself firmly into the fabric of our collective consciousness. And let's not forget about those iconic Pepsi commercials. They've made us laugh, cry, and crave a cold, refreshing Pepsi all at the same time. Whether it's Cindy Crawford causing a stir at a gas station vending machine, or those adorable Pepsi Challenge kids teaching us a thing or two about taste, Pepsi knows how to create advertising that resonates. Stumbles and controversies. When fizz turns flat, Pepsi's public gasps. But it hasn't always been smooth sailing for Pepsi. Like any brand with such a long and storied history, Pepsi has had its fair share of blunders and controversies. Remember that Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad? The one where she magically solves all the world's problems with a can of Pepsi? Yeah, that didn't go over so well. The ad was widely criticized for trivializing social justice movements and was quickly pulled. Then there was the whole Crystal Pepsi debacle of the 1990s. Someone at Pepsi headquarters thought it would be a brilliant idea to release a clear cola. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Crystal Pepsi disappeared from shelves almost as quickly as it arrived, becoming a cautionary tale about the perils of messing with a classic. Pepsi today, a global beverage giant still making waves. Despite a few missteps along the way, Pepsi has weathered the storms and emerged as a true icon of the beverage industry. Today, PepsiCo is a global behemoth, with a presence in over 200 countries and territories worldwide. But Pepsi isn't resting on its laurels. The company is constantly innovating, introducing new flavors, and expanding its product line to keep up with ever-changing consumer tastes. From sugar-free options to flavored sparkling waters, Pepsi is diversifying its portfolio to cater to a wider range of preferences. The future of Pepsi, adapting to changing tastes and trends. So what does the future hold for this iconic brand? Well, if history is any indication, Pepsi will continue to evolve, adapt, and find new ways to quench our thirst. As consumers become more health conscious, Pepsi is placing a greater emphasis on healthier options, such as zero-calorie drinks and beverages with natural ingredients. The company is also exploring sustainable packaging solutions and reducing its environmental footprint. One thing's for sure, Pepsi's journey is far from over. This bubbly beverage has come a long way from its humble beginnings in a North Carolina pharmacy. And something tells us this is just the beginning of Pepsi's next chapter. Cheers to that.